Hey everyone, this reading is going to be for water signs, so that's Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. With that said, let's get started. And this is going to be pulling from the energies of the Super Blood Blue Moon, which is really a mouthful. As I said the other three times, it's still very much a mouthful. And again, this is for Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So from jump, it's very interesting that for the water signs there is a lot of thinking and not much feeling going on here. Though, like the root of all your actions is ultimately like emotional fulfillment. But like in this, even like in the energy, there's no emotion. There are no cups. It's very interesting. Um, see, because we're this energy that water signs are transitioning from is Four of Swords reversed. It feels like there's been a lot of you guys have really been struggling to quiet your minds. So you're trying to rest, but it's not. You're trying to rest. You're trying to rejuvenate, or you're not trying, but it hasn't been successful. It's not giving you the restoration you need, and as a result, it's been causing a lot of problems. Because that's a lot of that is what comes up here. A lot of trouble thinking. So we're really transitioning from the Four of Swords energy into the Three of Swords energy, which is here, by way of the Six of Swords, and it really feels like kind of feels like you guys are taking a step back, and it's needed. It's needed because I believe I mentioned previously, what the Four of Swords is really doing is allowing you, because as you can see, you've got the three swords here, and you've got a sword there, and so the four swords kind of reduces to you is the three of swords, and then the ace of swords, which is clear thinking. Your mind is clear. You've got new ideas, new thoughts, new you're approaching things from a different lens, but it's not properly reducing here, and the inability for you guys to properly shut out all the background noise and shut out all the noise within your minds and purge all the outside energy. Like there's really been an inability to do that, and it's caused turmoil, which you can see here in the Six of Swords, because that's the energy that you're leaving to get back to the Three of Swords, which is um, acknowledging your pain, releasing your pain, releasing the thoughts that bring you pain, releasing your attachment to the thoughts that bring you pain. So there's really like this. It feels like a lot of you guys really try to hit the reset and get right with it, but it hasn't been working. So I feel like for some of you, in a way, it's going to be a bit refreshing to go back to the Three of Swords, because now it's giving you a chance to do things the right way. But again, it is very interesting because those these swords is very it's thought. It's not intuitive. It's not intuition. The only the only card from the Suit of Cups that's showing up here is the Ace of Cups, and it's in the reverse position, which is, it's like, in the present, you're kind of just pouring away your chances at peace. Judgment comes up here because in the present, it's asking you to face your truth, to face the truth, and acknowledge that you have a role in your own turmoil. As this Ace of Cups reversed, you're not thinking clearly. I mean, you're not feeling peace. You're not feeling fulfillment. You're not. There's nothing. You're feeling like you're in a tunnel and there's no light at the end, or there is a light and it's a train. And then this Queen of Swords reversed. You're not thinking clearly. You're not doing clearly. You're letting too much clutter get into your mind, and it's clouding up your actions. But stepping back into Judgment for a minute, Judgment is really asking water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, especially Scorpio, to again dig into the truth. Like, do you want peace, or do you claim you want peace because that's the thing we think we're all supposed to want? Because if you want peace, you have to face your role in keeping the turmoil going. Because there's a lot of distress and a lot of uncertainty here. And I'm gonna tell you guys what I told fire signs here, and that's you've got to learn how to function in the absence of dysfunction. Water signs are very intuitive, and as a result, I have to say myself included because I am a Cancer moon. Uh, we pick up on things, and we kind of like this is what's coming through. Water signs kind of like needing something to nurture that's not within themselves because this is again very intuitive, very very much about tapping into other people's energy, and that's honestly like the root of all these problems here. You're not able to properly restore yourself because you're busying yourself with other people's energy. This the three swords here. You're not. There's no peace. You're supposed to be restoring yourself. The Six of Swords here. A lot of these are thoughts, and a lot of these thoughts are not your own. But as you can see, they're in the boat with you, and as a result, you have to stop making other people's problems your problems. That's it. That's really it. This Ace of Cups, you're letting somebody pour out your peace and your fulfillment, and it doesn't have to be like that. You have to get used to. You have to find better ways to use your intuition. Use it as an asset. Don't just use it to hunt for problems. Use it to embrace peace too. You know, this Queen of Swords reversed. Instead of being in command of the situation, your head's in the clouds and you're not focused. There's no engagement. There's no engagement within situations. There's no clear thinking. There's no clear doing. A lot of these swords cards, they don't present that they're not. None of these swords cards are really in a good place. You got the Four of Swords reversed. You can't restore yourself. You got the Three of Swords. You're dealing with pain. You got the Six of Swords. You're dealing with uncertainty, moving from troubled waters into calm, but you don't even know if you belong in the calm. You're trying to think yourselves out of peace because life is easier when there are problems to fix that aren't yours. But judgment has come for you, and judgment brings the truth, and judgment brings no mercy. There's no more mercy here for you guys. There's no more. You're being taken out of the space to entertain other people's drama because you need to work on you. That's what's coming through here very, very strongly. It's time for you guys to be present for yourselves. So with that said, let me just get to a couple of cards for each sign. And let's see what we've got for Cancer. Got the Ace of Cups and the Hermit. Cancer, this is exactly what I'm telling you guys. You really have to go within to find your peace and your fulfillment. This Ace of Cups is this Hermit here is that's what the Hermit is telling you. It's time for introspection. It's time for self work. It's time for you to dig into you and find out and just get to the bottom of what's undermining your will, your deep seated desire to have peace. What's keeping you from embracing that? If again, going back to functioning without dysfunction, if if that's something you're not used to, the Hermit is telling you you need to go within yourself and you need to get used to it. You've got all the nurturing and the mothering for everybody in the world but yourselves, and you need to fix that, Cancer. This Hermit, this Ace of Cups, this is telling you that only you can free yourself. And it's also telling you that you have the tools to do it very, very easily, but you need to embrace the task. You need to embrace what it brings you. You like having a problem to fix, but this is time to you have to give that up for a while. You have to step outside of trying to fix everyone and fix everything and fix yourself. Because once you do that, you're really gonna grow. You're really gonna grow, and you're gonna be able to move past a lot of things. This Three of Swords energy where you're releasing, you're gonna be able to do that. All this the trauma that's coming up, that's kind of like in your space that you can't quite step away from. It's going to dissipate, but you have to dig within you, and you have to find your fulfillment. You have to find your peace and working on you. Work on yourself with the same joy that you work on others is what's coming up there. That's the energy you need to bring to it. So for Pisces, what do we have? You've got the Knight of Wands. You've got the Knight of Wands. You've got the Queen of Wands reversed. Pisces, again, this is kind of pulling back to embracing your self-work, because the Knight of Wands brings inspiration to take on something new. But the Queen of Wands is very stubborn and very controlling, and the Queen of Wands reversed, that is very very controlling, very cunning, manipulative, kind of like a bitch. I'll just say it. The Queen of Wands reversed is a bit of a bitch, and she doesn't she doesn't want to work on herself. Because Pisces, what this is saying is that you have all the tools to really accomplish what you want to accomplish. You've got the energy, and when this Queen of Wands is upright, you've got the charisma, you've got the personality, you've really got the wherewithal to go to take action, to be active, to work with others, to work within yourself first, to get things done. You've got that capability, but it's a matter of using, because wands are fire energy. It's a matter of using this fire that comes from with the Knight of Wands to. You got to burn away your trepidation. You have to, you have to take this call of action seriously, because the Knight of Wands is telling the Queen of Wands something she doesn't want to. That the Queen of Wands needs to do something she doesn't want to do, and that's why she's up in arms. Like if you're feeling inspired to do something that you don't really want to do, but it's kind of sitting in your forefront, like you just want to be over and done with it. This is the time. This is the time to invest in that self work, because the Knight of Wands moves very very fast, and what that tells me is that if you commit to making these improvements, plus with the Queen of Wands, all this fire energy, if you really commit to improving yourself, it's gonna it's gonna work in your favor, and it's gonna do so very very fast. So you need to keep that. You need to get that confidence in you. Again, water signs, you really have to. You have to be willing to work on yourselves as much as you're willing to work on others. You have to nurture yourselves, like like deep down, like you want to nurture others. Because the reality is, your work is not going to. It's not going to take you places. This is not going to take you places if you can't be right within yourself first. It's like the lyric. How are you going to win when you ain't right within? You got to get right within. All right. Scorpio, the Fool reverse and the Six of Swords reverse. Again, the Six of Swords is very uncertain energy, and it's the Six of Swords coming up reversed here is normally sometimes if I pull reversals, if I do a little spread and everything's reversed, I interpret the cards upright and I treat it as an energy shift. But I'm not really getting an energy shift vibe here. What I'm getting actually is stagnation, because there's so much potential in these cards, but they're reversed, and it's draining their potential. You're not able to actualize this potential that the Fool has to, where anything is possible, because you don't want to embrace the Six of Swords upright. You don't want to embrace leaving the turmoil for peace. Some of you secretly feel you don't deserve peace. Water signs have a habit of picking up other people's pollution and treating it as their own. And what this is telling me is that water signs as a whole, a lot of you need to do something about the company you keep, because if people are continuously speaking negative things, if they're being negative, if their energy is negative, if their presence drains you, you need to change up the folks you spend your time around, because they're poisoning you. Again, I mentioned before, this entire spread, all these swords, this is there's no original thought. What's your pain? What's your problem? None of this shit is yours. Stop carrying other people's pain with you. Yes, it feels nice to have something to work on. It feels nice to have something to nurture, but enough. You have work to do on yourselves. You need to detox. You need to change up the company you keep. You need to get into spaces where you can just be with yourself, where you can purge everything that is not yours. That's what's needed right now. And this eclipse energy is really trying to guide you to that place, but a lot of you are resisting it. You think you don't deserve peace? Well, that's bullshit. Everybody deserves peace. And if you stop spending your time around people who feel they don't deserve peace, you'll realize that you deserve peace. So Scorpio, you got to get it together, because you're the Fool is no joke. The Fool is the Fool is whimsical, but the Fool is not a fool. The Fool can get some real shit done, and you're blocking that energy because you're thinking too much. Take a break from thinking. All of you, take a break from thinking so much. Get back to feeling what you feel, and stop focusing on what others are projecting into your space. Get back in touch with your energy. Reconnect with yourselves. Meditate. Ground yourselves. Everybody needs to ground themselves, but you especially need to ground yourselves. You need to pass off that energy that's not yours to be carried around with you. Take some time to be with yourselves and just figure out what are the things that bring you peace and joy and happiness, that put a smile in your heart. Don't let other people's energy dictate anything for you. Because yeah, you can feel it, that's great, but just because you can feel it all doesn't mean you have to do it all. And just because you feel it doesn't mean you there's a problem if you just take that funky energy and just put it right back where it belongs. Because it does not belong with you. So water signs, this eclipse is pushing you guys to a detox. Eclipses aren't very merciful. So you can embrace the need to do that work yourselves, or you can find yourselves forced into it. But one way or another, it needs to happen, and it's going to happen. That's all I got for you guys, water signs. It's Cancer, again, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Peace.